something unprecedented is happening. Inside America's fast food industry, the golden arches that once symbolized affordable American abundance are now witnessing empty parking lots, declining foot traffic, and customers who simply cannot afford to return. McDonald's, the largest restaurant chain in the United States, just reported its worst quarterly performance since 2020. U.S. Same-store sales dropped 3.6% in the first quarter of 2025. But here is what makes this different from any downturn we have seen before. Traffic from low-income consumers declined by nearly double digits. Middle-income traffic fell almost as much. Only high-income consumers remained stable. This is not a business problem. It is an economic warning signal. When the most affordable dining option in America loses its core customers, something fundamental has shifted in the American household budget. Today, we examine what is really happening behind the drive-thru window, why it matters far beyond hamburgers, and what it reveals about the American economy. But we will also explore what companies are doing to adapt and whether recovery is possible. Chapter 1. The numbers behind the decline. Let us start with the hard data. According to Placer.ai foot traffic analytics, McDonald's overall traffic fell 2.6% compared to the first quarter of 2024. When you remove newly opened stores from the calculation, same-store traffic dropped even further to 4%. By September, foot traffic was down 4.4% year over year. The last time McDonald's posted positive foot traffic growth was April. CEO Chris Kempczinski confirmed on the company's earnings call that geopolitical tensions dampened consumer sentiment more than anyone expected. Traffic was particularly weak among lower-income households, approaching a decline of 10%. But McDonald's is not alone. Wendy's traffic has dropped between 6% and 12% depending on the quarter. Burger King is down 3% to 12% depending on the region. Jack in the Box reported a 7.7% decline. Chipotle broke its years-long growth streak, posting same-store sales declines for the first time since 2020. Even Starbucks struggled, posting negative same-store sales until a recent turnaround effort. The quick-service restaurant category is under pressure from multiple fronts: persistent inflation, shifting consumer behavior, value menu fatigue, and even the growing adoption of GLP-1 weight loss medications, which are dampening demand for food consumed away from home. RMS data shows U.S. quick-service traffic was down 1.7% year over year in April. This is not a blip. It is a trend. Chapter 2. The price shock that broke the model. To understand why customers are leaving, you have to understand what happened to prices. Food away from home inflation hit 7.7% in 2022, 5.8% in 2023, and remain above 3% through 2025. These percentages may look modest, but they compound. A menu item that cost $5 in 2019 now approaches $8 or $9. A family order that was $25 now crosses $40. The psychological contract has broken. Fast food was supposed to be cheap. That is why people came. McDonald's CEO acknowledged this on the earnings call. Food, labor, and paper costs have risen by as much as 40% in some markets over the past few years. Those cost increases forced menu price hikes. Labor costs surged dramatically. California's fast food minimum wage jumped to $20 per hour. Other states still hover around $12, creating an impossible pricing gap for multi-state operators. Insurance premiums for franchise locations are significantly higher than 5 years ago. Transportation and ingredient costs remain elevated. By the time a sandwich reaches the consumer, the combined cost of ingredients, wages, utilities, rent, and franchise fees can exceed $2 to $3 before profit is even considered. The dollar menu is mathematically extinct. A $1 item today would guarantee a loss on every sale. The value menu has quietly mutated into items priced at $3, $4, or $5, not because companies want to abandon affordability, but because the arithmetic no longer works. Chapter 3. The consumer under pressure. The price increases might be survivable if consumer incomes had kept pace. They have not. Rent has risen approximately 35% since before the pandemic. According to Zillow data, the Census Bureau reports, median gross rent increased 2.7% from 2023 to 2024 alone, reaching $1,487 per month. Auto insurance has surged over 20% in just 2 years. Credit card balances have reached $1.233 trillion as of late 2025, the highest since the Federal Reserve began tracking in 1999. Average credit card APRs now exceed 22%. The Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis reports credit card delinquency rates are reaching levels seen during the 2008 financial crisis. In the lowest income zip codes, Serious delinquency rates have climbed above 20%. Even affluent areas have seen delinquency rates more than double since 2022. The unemployment rate has risen to 4.6% as of November 2025, the highest in 4 years. Average hourly wages grew just 3.5% from a year ago, the smallest annual gain since May 2021. When you add rising rents, insurance premiums, utilities, and debt payments, the discretionary income that once flowed to quick-service restaurants has evaporated. A household that once had $200 in discretionary money each month may now have $20 or nothing. When a $9 meal becomes a financial decision rather than a convenience, the consumer has fundamentally changed. 40% of American diners surveyed said they are spending less disposable income on restaurants. 1 in 4 report shopping at grocery stores instead, citing better value. Consumers do not need to boycott these chains. The math does it for them. Chapter 4. The franchise owner squeeze. The financial pressure does not stop at consumers. It flows directly to franchise operators, the people who actually run these restaurants. The cost of running a single U.S. restaurant has surged 15% to 25% compared to pre-pandemic levels. Commercial rents can exceed $10,000 to $12,000 per month in prime locations. Franchisees absorb nearly all of these costs. Fast food chains operate on thin margins, typically 6% to 9% net profit. The model depends on high predictable volume. A decline of even 3% to 4% in daily transactions can erase an entire location's profit margin. Many operators borrowed heavily to remodel dining rooms, expand drive-through lanes, or comply with corporate modernization demands. With interest rates elevated, refinancing those loans can turn a once viable store into a monthly loss. Corporate guidance offers little relief. Chains want national pricing, consistent branding, and uniform promotions, but franchise owners face local realities that no centralized strategy can solve. A value deal that works in low-cost states can destroy margins in high-wage regions. Operators are caught between consumer frustration and corporate expectations. Wendy's announced plans to close hundreds of locations over the next year. This is where the system fractures. Chapter 5. Why this matters beyond fast food. Fast food has always been a barometer of American consumer health. When McDonald's struggled during the 2008 crisis, it signaled broader economic distress. When it thrived during the pandemic, it showed consumer resilience. Today, the signal is more complex. McDonald's represents $53.5 billion in U.S. system-wide sales. It operates over 13,000 U.S. locations. Its model depends on frequency, affordability, and broad participation from every income tier. When this company experiences sustained drops in traffic, it reveals a shift not just in preferences, but in the financial capabilities of the nation. The CEO called breakfast a bellwether occasion. When consumers skip breakfast at McDonald's, either making it at home or skipping entirely, it suggests consumer pressures are keeping customers from dining out as frequently. But here is where we need nuance. This is not necessarily a recession signal, a structural realignment in how Americans spend their money. Consumer spending is shifting, not necessarily collapsing. Cooking at home, seeking better value propositions. That money does not disappear. It flows elsewhere in the economy. Chapter 6. The winners in a losing market. Not every fast food chain is struggling, and understanding the winners reveals what the market actually wants. Taco Bell is apparently unstoppable. The Mexican fast food chain reported 9% same-store sales growth in Q1 2025, its best performance in 2 years, while nearly every other brand posted declines. Taco Bell reached a record $1 billion in profit in 2024. Their strategy combines aggressive value offerings, Luxe Cravings boxes at $5, $7, and $9, with constant menu innovation. Digital sales grew 37% year over year, now representing 42% of total sales. Their loyalty program members increased visits from 5.8 to 10.2 times per year, a 76% increase. And Taco Bell has no direct competition. Nobody else sells a Crunchwrap. Chick-fil-A continues to dominate, reaching $22.7 billion in system-wide sales. Its average unit volume of $9.3 million is nearly double that of McDonald's, despite being closed on Sundays. For the 11th consecutive year, Chick-fil-A was named the top quick-service restaurant in the American Customer Satisfaction Index. Raising Cane's is stealing market share, now the 4th largest chicken chain in the U.S., with a 7.8% market share. The chicken segment overall is outperforming. Chicken prices have remained more stable than beef, allowing for better value propositions. Even Chili's, the casual dining chain, has reported double-digit same-store sales growth by positioning its $10.99 Big Smasher meal against fast food prices. The pattern is clear. Consumers will still spend, but they demand genuine value, differentiation, and quality. Chapter 7. The Technology Transformation. The fast food industry is not standing still. A massive technological transformation is underway that could reshape the entire sector. In March 2025, Yum Brands, parent company of Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut, announced a groundbreaking partnership with NVIDIA to roll out AI tools across 61,000 restaurants globally. AI-powered voice recognition is transforming drive-through ordering. Computer vision monitors traffic in real time, adjusting menu suggestions based on the quickest preparation items to reduce wait times during busy hours. Robotic kitchens can now reduce operational costs by up to 50%. According to industry reports, Chipotle employs robotic systems to prep ingredients like guacamole, slashing labor time while ensuring consistency. Smart inventory systems monitor stock in real time, reducing food waste by up to 30%. Predictive analytics forecast demand, optimizing ordering and staffing. Digital ordering platforms have become the baseline, not an add-on. Mobile ordering apps reduce errors, enable personalized recommendations, and drive loyalty program engagement. This technology transformation serves two purposes. First, it reduces labor costs, addressing the wage pressure problem. Second, it improves consistency and speed, enhancing the customer experience. The companies that invest in this transformation will be positioned to thrive. Those that do not will struggle to survive. Chapter 8. The Value War has begun. The industry response to declining traffic has been predictable. Value menus are back with a vengeance. McDonald's launched its McValue platform, anchored by the $5 meal deal. The promotion had an immediate positive impact on traffic when it launched. Foot traffic increased 5.4% to 8%. In the days following the rollout, the company extended the deal and plans to keep offering $5 meals throughout 2025. But there is a risk here. One analyst warned there is now a risk of a full-blown value war in quick service. If everyone leans into deals, margins will collapse before traffic recovers. Value is really a losing track. According to TD Cowen analyst Andrew Charles, you are doing lower margin, degrading the brand. It is not the best strategy. The winners are brands like Taco Bell and Burger King that did not have to lean as heavily on discounts to drive same-store sales growth. The sustainable path forward is not racing to the bottom on price. It is delivering genuine value through quality, innovation, and experience. Chapter 9. What comes next? So where does the fast food industry go from here? The pessimistic view is straightforward. Consumer pressure continues. Traffic declines persist. Franchisees close underperforming locations. The industry contracts to a smaller footprint. Some chains may face serious financial stress. But there is an optimistic view as well. The Federal Reserve has been cutting interest rates, 3 consecutive reductions since September, bringing the benchmark rate to 3.5% to 3.75%. Lower rates could eventually ease pressure on household budgets. Inflation has cooled significantly from its peak in mid-2022. If wage growth can catch up with price increases, consumers may regain purchasing power. Technology investments could reduce operating costs substantially, allowing for more competitive pricing without sacrificing margins. McDonald's leadership remains confident. We believe McDonald's can weather these conditions better than most, the CEO said. The company believes the current environment mirrors past temporary downturns. The most realistic scenario is probably in between. Some chains will thrive. Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, and Focus Concepts that deliver genuine value. Some chains will struggle. Those with weak value propositions, high operating costs, and undifferentiated offerings. The industry will consolidate. Weaker franchisees will exit. Underperforming locations will close. Technology will reshape operations, making survivors more efficient and more competitive. Chapter 10. The Bigger Picture. What does the fast food decline tell us about the broader American economy? First, it confirms what many Americans already feel in their daily lives. The cumulative impact of years of inflation has eroded purchasing power, especially for lower and middle-income households. Second, it reveals a divided economy. High-income consumers remain stable. Low and middle-income consumers are under strain. This K-shaped pattern appears across multiple economic indicators. Third, it shows that consumers are adaptable. They are making rational economic decisions, trading down to grocery stores, seeking better value, prioritizing essential spending. This is not a collapse. It is an adjustment. Fourth, it demonstrates that businesses built on thin margins and high volume are vulnerable to economic shifts. The fast food model may need to evolve. Finally, it reminds us that economic transitions are rarely smooth. There will be winners and losers, adaptations and failures, but the American economy has weathered many such transitions before. Conclusion: the decline at McDonald's and across fast food is real and significant. It reflects genuine consumer financial stress, structural cost pressures on businesses, and a shifting economic landscape. But it is not the end of fast food or the collapse of the American consumer. It is a correction, a signal that the old model needs to evolve. The chains that will thrive are those that deliver genuine value, embrace technology, innovate their offerings, and adapt to changed consumer realities. The consumer has not disappeared. They are simply demanding more. For their increasingly stretched dollars, that is not an ending. It is an evolution. And in evolution, there is always opportunity. For those willing to adapt, the golden arches may be dimmer today, but the story is far from over. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis valuable, please like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video.